So I think KindleTok is both the best and the worst thing that's happened to me this year. Best because my reading life has never been better, and worse because apparently I'm extremely susceptible to watching someone decorating their Kindle, peeling off all the protective film, opening and unboxing a Kindle, putting the pop socket on, putting the Kindle charms on, and then I suddenly decide that that is the thing I need to feel complete as a human being. If you guys aren't aware, the Kindle Colorsoft came out a while ago. It was released first in the US, and it took a long time to be available in Canada. So the minute I saw that it was available on Amazon, I bought it. Granted, I did have my Paperwhite for about 4 to 5 years before that. So I was like, you know what? I really want it. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to have it for years to come. Anyway, I did upgrade to a Colorsoft and I gave my Paperwhite away to my mother-in-law. So that's how I'm justifying it. That is how I'm justifying my purchase. I also did buy a new clear case. I bought some stickers. And so compared to the videos we're going to watch today, I did not go all the way down the rabbit hole. I haven't bought the pop sockets. I haven't bought the silicone grips. I haven't bought those little things that sit on top of your Kindle. I don't know what they're called. I also have not bought a Kindle charm no matter how much I want one. And I only bought one pack of stickers. One pack. Even though I had like 3 different ones in my cart. I do not need 3 different packs of stickers for my Kindle.
As a lifelong reader, one thing about me is that my Kindle is a direct reflection of my soul.
Kindles are an aesthetic fashion accessory for so many readers. They're an extension of who you are, what you're into. It tells you what kind of reader you are. The stickers are pretty telling depending on which ones you're comfortable enough to put on the back. But every single time I see one of these videos, my brain is like, yes, I think I should need that as well. But before we go any further into today's shenanigans, let's take a moment to talk about today's sponsor, Ritual. First things first, Ritual is offering 40% off your first order during their high standard sale. So if you're in the market for new supplements, you're not going to want to miss this. I'm not going to lie, I'm not one of those people that the stress can just stay in their head. It affects my whole body, my back, I get really sore, my chest feels heavy, and my IBS flares up. So having stress and then also gut issues, it's the worst combination ever. And because I'm someone who talks about making a lot of mindful choices and I'm trying to live more intentionally myself, I've been really picky about what I'm putting in my body when it comes to supplements. That's why I'm in love with Ritual's Stress Relief Supplement. It's a once daily capsule that's designed to help reduce stress, promote a positive mood, and support your body's normal cortisol response. It uses their BioSeries technology, which means you get quick, non-drowsy calm within an hour from the L-theanine, but you'll also get extended support for up to 8 hours. So it's not just a short-term fix. The ingredients in this supplement are clinically shown to reduce stress over time. It's also made with just 3 very high quality ingredients: ashwagandha, L-theanine, and then saffron. And fun fact, saffron is one of the highly sought after ingredients in the world. It's so rare and labor intensive that historically it used to be traded like gold. I also take their Symbiotic Plus, which is a prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic. So you're getting all the biotics all in one. I've been on it for my gut health and I love that they only use 2 of the most clinically studied probiotic strains, which is Lactobacillus rhamnosus and Bifidobacterium animalis. I do hope I said that right. Plus the strains are in a delayed release capsule, which helps the probiotics actually get to where they're supposed to go, which is your colon. The prebiotics help to support the growth of beneficial bacteria, whereas the postbiotics help to support gut barrier function. Again, right now, Ritual is running their high standard sale, which means you get 40% off your first order when you use the link in my description or use my code susannahfriesen40. If you guys have been looking for something new to put in your supplement regimen or looking for something that might benefit you more than something you're already on, I cannot recommend Ritual enough. Thank you so much to Ritual for sponsoring today's video. Coming back to KindleTok influence, I am not immune. I have been so close to clicking check out to all the things that are in my cart because I struggle with impulse shopping just as much as the next person. If you didn't watch my video from a few weeks ago, 5 things that we normalize and overconsume without question, you would see all the things that I struggle with purchasing myself. It was basically a video of me just calling myself out for my own impulsive shopping habits. So if you're interested in that, I'll link it up here. You might have had good intentions once you did get the Kindle, but as soon as you get on KindleTok, that almost gets cast aside. Who doesn't want an aesthetic pretty Kindle? I know I do. Let's start with the main reason a lot of people get Kindles in the first place. Kindle marketing is basically save money, save the planet, and save space. Instead of buying piles of books that cost $25 to maybe $30 each, ebooks are more affordable. Some can be $1.99, some could be $6.99. The cost varies. And then when you get Kindle Unlimited, you pay $11.99 per month and you get access to so many books. You can read however many books in a month you want, for that $11.99 price. Then there's the eco-friendly side of owning a Kindle or an e-reader in general. There's no printing, there's no shipping trucks, just downloads that magically appear on your device. And of course, when you have an e-reader or are mostly an e-reader person, you don't have piles of books collecting dust on your shelves. You don't have all the clutter, no stacks of paperbacks just silently judging you from the corner. It's just all in one device. And for someone who had a lot of books and had my bookshelf full in my first apartment, I can say that having an e-reader has made me feel like my house is less cluttered. Everyone wants their own personal library. That was my dream at one point. But as I've slowly gotten into the de-influencing space, that's just not really a desire of mine anymore, especially because I don't read physical books as much as I use my Kindle anyways. A little story time. So my husband and I, when we moved into our apartment, we had a lot of books. I was into Bookstagram. And so buying books was one of my favorite pastimes. But then after that lease was up, we moved back into my in-laws. And of course, I did not have anywhere to put my books. So we had to put them in a lot of bins in the storage unit that we had to store all of our furniture. So last week, my mother-in-law called us up and was like, you guys need to come figure out these books because we no longer have that storage unit and we were storing them at her house. She's like, you guys need to come over and go through these books because I'm tired of not being able to use my basement. There's 7 bins of books that we had to go through, and we donated quite a lot. We were very intentional with the books we were keeping, and we only kept books that we absolutely loved. All of our Ruth Ware books we kept because that was a collection we had. All of my Sarah J. Maas books I kept. Holly Black and the Cruel Prince series I kept. So just a lot of books that I really, really enjoyed, or sets I got, and books I would 100% read again. But it's crazy looking back and seeing how many books we got rid of that first we didn't read, but we bought with the intentions of reading, and books we held on to just because. And so it was very freeing getting rid of all those books and donating them. But it did open my eyes to how much I was mindlessly spending on books. The Kindle was originally marketed for people who are more sensible with their money, want to be budget friendly, and be a little bit more mindful of how they're impacting the environment. And for some people, that probably is the case, but for those of us who are easily influenced, it's become something completely different. The irony is that the Kindle was supposed to eliminate unnecessary spending, but we have found so many other ways to spend money on it. We don't just buy the Kindle, we accessorize it, we upgrade it, and then we collect them. There are some people that have so many Kindles and use every single one, and I'm just like, what are you doing? Why do you need so many Kindles? That is one thing I don't understand. It's really hard for people to leave things in their pure functional form. Having this just be black, not having a case, not having stickers, that seems almost impossible to me. We have to personalize it. We have to theme it. We have to make it ours. And with that, it usually means spending money. It reminds me when people buy a reusable water bottle to save money, and then somewhere down the line, they have a whole rainbow shelf of Stanleys that they've just collected over the years, some with the sleeves still on them, not even used. And the Kindle was meant to replace buying hundreds of books. But now for some, it's replaced with buying cases, it's replaced with buying charms, pop sockets, stickers, and they have full collections of them. And not only that, but now there's specialized bags to hold your Kindle and basically nothing else. And I'm not judging because I've been tempted. I have things in my cart that I am very much struggling not to hit the checkout button for, but I'm not. I'm trying to be more mindful, but the temptation is there. Thankfully, I've managed to stop myself at one sticker pack, but who knows what the future will hold. And that's why I want to make this de-influencing video. I'm de-influencing myself. I'm de-influencing you guys if you're interested in this or have felt that same pull. So let's just de-influence each other. So KindleTok is basically a never-ending runway show of people accessorizing their Kindles with stickers, pop sockets, all the things. We've got people who have clear cases so they can cover the back in stickers like I have. You've got people who have the fold-over covers. There's just so many different ways you can accessorize a Kindle. You've got seasonal covers, people decorating their Kindles based on the seasons, pop sockets, silicone grips, all these different accessories, Kindle charms, clip-on page turners, even though turning the page on your Kindle is already so effortless and so easy. And then there are the Kindle bags, which we briefly touched on, but people are buying Kindle bags for the sake of not ruining their Kindle when they put them in their purse. But the thing is, the Kindle bags don't hold anything and you're still putting it in a bag. So regardless of if you're putting it in a purse or in this bag, there's still a potential for it to get damaged, but it just shows how accustomed we are to consumption habits and buying something because it claims to do this or that or the other.
One of my biggest issues with Kindle is that when you set it to show the book that you're reading, if you're reading a dark romance, one of those covers where the guy's shirtless and it says bonded or corrupted, you know what I mean? People just know that you're reading a dark book and they're gonna be like, this girl's into some kinky shit. So sometimes when I'm reading a book like that, I'll just turn this feature off. But then I realize that the back of my Kindle literally says smut. It says my TBR is a trigger warning. So, like, does that really do anything for me? No.
It seems that that's just a problem she made for herself. Starts the video by basically saying, this is a problem, Kindle, with their covers and them showing the covers on the Kindle. But then she accessorizes her Kindle to reflect the type of book she reads, but like those kind of identifiers. So she's decorating her Kindle to basically say to the world, I'm into these kind of books, which I don't have a problem with. But it's just funny she went to TikTok and then was like, this is one of my biggest issues with Kindle. Aren't you like creating that problem for yourself anyway, regardless of if it's showing the cover or not? Yes, you are. And I am with you. I have a little Jesus one on mine saying, really trying not to judge you. And for those that don't know, I am a Christian and I just love the fact that there is a Jesus sticker in my pack and I wanted to put it on there. This one's saying, new month, new Kindle decor. Cute little pop socket, cute stickers. It's like a whole theme she's got going on. A clear case. You see those things with like the little butts? I don't know what those are, but so many of these KindleTok girlies have them. She has a whole book full of stickers and Kindle sleeves, it looks like. That pop socket is really cute though. And that case is also really cute. See, that's one I would be influenced by because the back sleeve had quotes from A Court of Mist and Fury. It's got Fourth Wing on there. That's the kind of thing that I'd really be into. But there are people out there that take Kindle decorating very seriously. And if I wasn't in this space, if I wasn't trying to be more mindful of my spending or be more intentional with my purchases, I would definitely be one of those people. And just because I have that mindset where I want to be more intentional, I am still so easily influenced. Like, I favorite all these videos because I actually like them. They're actually inspiring to me and give me ideas for what I want to decorate my Kindle with. In a perfect world, I would. But at the same time, like, this is just more clutter and more things that I don't necessarily need. Stickers are not expensive, but if you buy enough packs of them, they add up quite a lot. Like the ones that I had in my cart, there's one for $11.98. There's another one for $10.99. And this is all in Canadian, by the way. And then let's see the ones I bought. I want to see how much those are. The ones I got were $11.98. So if I was to buy like a whole bunch of different sticker packs based on what theme I want to go with, that all adds up. And that's one of the things I've learned as I've gotten older. Like, even though something might not seem like it's a lot of money, for example, if it was a $10 sticker pack, if I bought enough of them to the point where I had a full collection of stickers, all those little purchases add up. And when I was in my prime spending, like early 20s, putting everything on the credit card, that is what killed me the most. That is what got me in the most trouble, is buying all these little things with no regard for how much the end total would be once I've spent all the money. And back then, I had a minimum wage job. I believe I worked at Subway, and all my money would be gone. I'd be left sometimes in the negatives. That's why I'm so passionate about de-influencing and just helping you guys not impulse spend, because I've been there. I've been in the negatives more times than I'd like to admit. Thankfully, I'm in a better spot now where I don't have to worry about that as much. But for the majority of my 20s and before I met my husband, that was my life, being in the negatives, figuring out how I'm going to pay the next bill. I don't necessarily check out right away. I put it in my cart and think about it and think about if it's something I actually really want. Right now, in my Amazon cart, I have Venus Comfortable Glide White Tea Women's Razor Refills. I also have an 8-piece pack of the Heart cell phone ring holders, and they're charm hooks. And you'll see a lot of KindleTok girlies have these charm holders on their Kindles. The charm hooks are $6.99, and then the charm I have, it's the gold bow keychain, costs $17.06. So I'm trying really hard not to impulse shop, and I put them in there just so I can think on it a little bit, see if there's something out there I might want a little bit more. Am I going to want a Kindle charm? Will I find it annoying when it's actually on my Kindle? These are all things you have to think about, especially if you're being influenced by what you're seeing online. All these little gadgets and all these little charms, they might end up being more annoying and more of a nuisance to you. Just because everyone else has them doesn't mean it's going to work for you. So just keep that in mind and ask yourselves those questions.
Maybe controversial, but I bought a Kindle because I cannot be bothered to turn the pages of a real book, but now I can't be bothered to hold my Kindle. But y'all, I just got myself a Kindle holder and a button page turner so I can lay flat on my back in bed. I don't have to hold a book, do not have to get a hand cramp, and I can even snack while reading with all of these free hands. Some people might think this is lazy, but if you get cold hands in the middle middle of winter holding your book, you need this.
I mean, you don't technically need it. I get cold hands in the winter and I totally understand like not wanting to hold your book or your Kindle anymore because your hands are cold. But at the same time, we've normalized laziness as convenience. It's really not that much effort to just tap the Kindle and turn the page. But this is just a whole other area of Kindle aesthetic. Buying like those Kindle holders with the bowl in them so you can snack, buying the Kindle stands, buying the page turners, all just laziness disguised as convenience. And I'm not gonna say I wasn't tempted. I did buy one of those like Kindle holders once. It did not work. My Kindle was too heavy for it to hold, even though it was marketed for that.
This is the Kindle Girl starter pack. First things first, you need a cute case.
To be fair, you do not need a cute case to read on a Kindle. That's just something that's been normalized for so many Kindle readers because that's all we see online. When people get a new Kindle, they automatically buy a clear case, they buy stickers, they buy the pop sockets, they buy the silicone grips because that's what everyone else is saying you need to have. You don't need a cute case. You might want a cute case. And this is just another example of how need and want, the line between those two terms, have been completely just erased.
This was the first case I had. It just opens up like this. It's rose gold. Right now, I just have a clear case and I decorated the actual Kindle underneath it. And you need a pop socket. It just makes reading so much more comfortable.
You don't need a pop socket. Actually, I find the pop sockets are really, really uncomfortable, especially if you get ones that dig into your fingers. I find that they actually hurt more and are less convenient. That might just be a personal preference. Everyone has their own preferences when it comes to these things. A better option might be like a silicone grip if you were to get something, because then it can just like rest in your hand and not go between your fingers. That would be what I recommend. But personally, I think just holding your Kindle is perfectly comfortable on its own without having to buy like pop sockets, silicone grips, or anything like that. I can see the appeal and the need for them, especially if someone has like a disability. These kind of things can be useful. Page turners can be useful for people who have disabilities. The Kindle holders can be useful as well. So I'm not writing off all of these different things. I think there is a time and a place and a purpose for these things to be actually useful and not just be for the aesthetic, if that makes sense. But if you don't have a disability that would require you to have like a silicone grip or whatever, then you don't need it. You don't need it. You can want it and you can use it and that'd be perfectly fine, but it's not something you need to have when you buy a Kindle.
And you don't have to worry about dropping your Kindle on your face. The next thing you need is this. This is a Kindle remote. So you go onto your book, you turn this on, you clip it right onto the side, and then you have your remote right here. And when you click it, it turns the page for you. Whoever created this is my hero. Lastly, we have the gooseneck stand. You know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and give you a demo.
And then she goes and gives us a demo, which I'm not going to show. But again, there is a time and a place and a purpose for these things to be actually useful and not just for the aesthetic and not just for convenience because you're lazy. As I said, it takes literally no effort to turn a Kindle page. I can understand wanting to be cozy underneath the covers and just click the button and have the page turn for you. But at the same time, these are not necessities. I feel like the better way to go about it, instead of just buying all this stuff at once, buy the Kindle, use it for a little bit and see if you actually need these other accessories in order to enjoy your Kindle experience. Some people might have very cold hands at night but want to read, and so having that page turner might be useful. Just try it out for a bit first before you decide that you need to have all these accessories, because maybe once you get your Kindle and then you put all these accessories on there, they might actually be more of a nuisance to your experience than if you just had nothing on your Kindle. And I'm not talking about like a case and stickers and stuff. I'm talking about all the little gadgets that people put on their Kindles, like the thing that sticks up here, pop socket, silicone grip, the charm. I feel like the charm, even though it looks pretty, would be annoying. And then there's also people that get dust plugs, which I feel like would get lost easily, especially when you have to charge your Kindle. So we've touched on accessories, we've touched on stickers, we've touched on all the little gadgets for your Kindle. But another thing I want to talk about is Kindle collectors. And these are people who have collected a whole bunch of different Kindles, use them still, and keep buying new Kindles even though they don't need them.
I would like to join the multiple Kindle discourse. The great thing about my Kindle is that I can take it outside. If I want, I can put it in my purse and I can bring it with me wherever I want to go. You may have seen that the new Kindles are out, and if you already own a Kindle, You do not need a second Kindle. You definitely don't need a third Kindle. You don't need the color soft, and you don't need a new Paperwhite. A lot of people do not understand or choose not to understand how their overconsumption affects people all over the world. You really need to start being more mindful of how much you are buying. If you already have a Kindle, you do not need a new one.
I'm going to show you guys a video, and no hate to this girl, but I just found it really funny how she has a Kindle for a whole bunch of different reasons. So let's watch this video.
Why do I have 5 Kindles and a Kobo? Let's talk about it. This one is my very first Paperwhite, very first Kindle. I got it in the middle of the pandemic. I wasn't really into e-readers, and then randomly I said, okay, let me try one more time with the e-readers, and I fell in love. So this is my first one. This is my pride and joy. She's a little beaten up. She has a scratch on the face. And so I learned my lesson with this one on how to care for my Kindles moving forward. This is my Kindle Basic. I love this one. This is the second Kindle that I got. I carry this one pretty much everywhere because it is so tiny. It fits into almost every single purse. Absolutely love this one, and it's an affordable price. It's I think $100, if that. And if you're not really sure about what Kindle to get, I would probably start with this one. The next one I have is the Kindle Oasis. I don't use this one as much. It's not my favorite. It's a super old model. Probably only use this one if I want buttons. And then I do like this little portion of it where you can hold this while you're reading. So that's why I have this one. Or Kindle Paperwhite. This is the pink one that just came out. I love her. She's fresh. She's new. She has no scratches, no dents, and we're all really just here for the fact that she's pink. I had to have her. I really have no justification for getting this other than the fact that it's pink. And this one is the Kindle Color Soft. This is my most recent Kindle. I think it's self-explanatory why I got this one. It's color. And that's all that really is. That's really the only reason I got it. It pretty much, aside from being color, does everything that this Paperwhite does and does everything that this Paperwhite does. So other than it being color, it's a little faster, but slightly faster. And I wanted to see my books in color. So in total, I have 2, 3, 4, 5 Kindles. And my bed Kindle, they all have like meanings. They all have reasonings for them. So this is like my bed Kindle, outside Kindle, need some buttons Kindle, old pride and joy that I'm never getting rid of, and aesthetically pleasing Kindle.
I don't really have enough words to describe how I feel about this video. I can understand wanting to keep the first Kindle you ever got, but having 5 different Kindles, and then she also says she has a Kobo, which she didn't feature in this video. Having 5 different Kindles for 5 different purposes, buying the Paperwhite 12th gen just because it's pink, which is a newer Kindle, and then buying the Color Soft right after just seems very unnecessary. Those are not cheap Kindles either. These are very expensive purchases, especially when you're buying things for no actual reason other than just aesthetics. The pink Kindle in Canadian dollars, because I don't live in the States, so I can't pull that up, is $229.99. And then buying the Color Soft, which I just bought, $264.99. And that doesn't even include like taxes or shipping on that. This girl is spending so much money on all these different Kindles. The only issue I really have with you spending an absorbent amount of money is, for one, on things you don't actually need, which in this case, she does not need 5 Kindles and a Kobo. And number 2, if you actually don't have the money and you're putting yourself in a bad financial situation to buy these things. Also, the Kindle Paperwhite, which is the one that she has like 3 different versions of, fit perfectly fine in purses. I can fit this in my Lululemon like crossbody bag perfectly fine, and that's a very small purse. But again, buying these expensive devices, one, she didn't even really like that much, the one with the buttons. It just seems very, very excessive to have all these different Kindles and still use them all. I also think there's something where you can take your Kindle to the store and then trade it in and buy the other one for a cheaper price, but that doesn't seem like what she's doing. The main point of me showing this video is the fact that you don't need to have all these different Kindles for different purposes. Buying a Kindle just because it's pink, not a good financial decision in my opinion, especially if you were planning on buying the color soft right after. This is when Kindles stop becoming a tool and start becoming more like a collectible. And once that happens, the original purpose of the Kindle kind of gets washed away. It's no longer the minimalist solution it was supposed to be and turning it into another area of overconsumption. And I'm not just talking about this woman in particular. While I touched on a few different things that she showed and talked about in her video and talked about my opinion on that, these videos are used for a bigger purpose. So I'm not hating on her at all. I'm just pointing out how something that was supposed to be minimalistic has been turned into another means of people overspending and participating in overconsumption.
So apparently I made some people really mad when I said that it shouldn't be normal to own more than one Kindle, and I completely stand by that. Whenever you post anything about like, hey, you probably shouldn't do that, people are always like, don't tell me what to do with my money. Okay, fine. You know what? If you want to own 50 Kindles, go ahead and own 50 Kindles. But there is an issue with overconsumption in this country that people just buy and buy and buy and buy and buy instead of using what they own, and it's getting out of hand. Kindles are portable. You don't need one that lives upstairs and then one that lives downstairs. You can just take it with you wherever you go. And then if you're leaving and you can't fit your Kindle in your bag, even though Kindles are super small, you can have the Kindle app on your phone and boom, you have another Kindle that also has another purpose. I think in America, we have a huge problem with just buying things. We are in such a buy culture where you just buy, and you do not think consciously about what you're buying and if you actually need it. And nobody needs more than one Kindle. And if you want to upgrade it, instead of just keeping a Kindle laying around that's not going to do anything, either give it to somebody else or use the Amazon upgrade program and then get like 20% off.
She makes a lot of really good points, and she's coming from someone who is in the BookTok space. So her opinion means a lot for someone who reads a lot and everything like that. She has a lot of good points, and we're stuck in this culture where we just buy. We have to upgrade every single piece of technology we have when the new model comes out because it's the FOMO aspect. Like, we have the fear of missing out. Everyone starts posting about the color soft. I wanted the color soft. But having more than one Kindle in your house is crazy to me because there's supposed to be a more sustainable, eco-friendly solution that prevents us from participating in overconsumption, and yet people have turned them into something completely different and another means for overconsumption. And I don't know why I'm holding my Kindle throughout this whole video. Anyway, it's just really crazy to me to think about how human psychology works and how like the fear of missing out very much influences what we do and how we spend our money. Now, TikTok and Instagram and YouTube and social media trends all play into that and feed into the FOMO to the point where we cannot help ourselves but to purchase and to buy. If we really care about our planet, if we want to be more financially responsible, then we really need to try and to fight the urge to impulse shop and to buy and to purchase and to click the easy button of checkout. A lot of us make purchases without critically thinking them through. And they're like, it's not that much money. It's just a little bit. It's not that big of a deal. But it is a big deal. And so buying multiple Kindle devices when first of all, there's the Kindle upgrade program where you can trade it in and get the model you actually want for a cheaper cost, or donating a Kindle to someone who may want one but can't afford one, holding on to 5 different Kindles, even purchasing that many in that short of a time span is just honestly peak overconsumption. You don't need a going out Kindle. You can use the Kindle app on your phone and read on your phone. But people don't want to do that. They're buying a whole different device, not even a Kindle, but something else to use as their purse Kindle.
Just an FYI, you don't need that purse Kindle. You do not need a purse Kindle. You got your regular Kindle, just put it in a bigger bag. Put it in a bigger bag. Get your phone, download the Kindle app. You got this. You don't need to spend more money.
If you haven't seen this, it's people buying this like MP3 player, which can be turned into a tiny little e-reader. But people are calling it their purse Kindle. And the idea is cute in theory, but first of all, it's too small. You're going to strain your eyes trying to read on it. Second, Kindles are already small enough to fit in most purses, which we've already discussed. And third, if you really need something smaller, your phone exists and has the Kindle app. This is a solution that people are playing into to fix a problem that does not exist. And they're not just buying these devices, they're also accessorizing them. So it's just another way that these micro trends are influencing overconsumption and feeding FOMO culture.
I just looked up purse Kindle. I swear to God, I thought people were just talking about Kindles that they bought to have a second one to keep in their purse, which I'm not gonna lie, I thought was unnecessary because they're already small and you can carry them. I don't. Mine lives by my nightstand. I'm terrible about remembering to bring it with me, but I just thought it was like, oh, convenient to have a second, kind of like hair scrunchies or bobby pins. You leave them everywhere, so then you have them, you know? That way you have it. But no, they're literally just like MP3 players. I'm like, you don't need that. Like, just read on your phone. Like, at that point, just read off your phone. Consumerism, maybe. Like, you don't need it. You don't need it. And if you want it, sure. But, like, you don't need it. You don't need it.
Exactly. You don't need it. And the thing is that it's basically just a smaller version of your phone. Regardless of if you're an Apple user, Android user, it's basically just a very small version on your phone. And not only that, but having to read on such a small screen, like already reading on your phone is difficult, but having to read on that small of a screen will do nothing for you other than just strain your eyes. It's such an unnecessary purchase. And as soon as someone finds something trendy like this, people just jump on the bandwagon.
The BookTok girlies got me, y'all. This is my purple purse Kindle. And as you see, she's already decked out. This is the Oasis MP3 player. It did come with headphones and a charger and all the pre-installed apps. Although I did have to buy my own case and screen protector. I got this one because the Oil Sky doesn't come in purple yet, but I still love it. I bought a suction pop socket because I wanted to be able to take it off. Plus, it's small enough that it looks really cute on the case as well. I did buy a case for extra protection. You can literally fit everything inside. It does zip up and it does come with a clip. If you haven't gotten a purse Kindle yet, girl, go and get you one. It's definitely worth the money. Best buy of 2025.
Best buy of 2025? Are you kidding me? Are you absolutely joking? Not only did she buy this unnecessary device when she could just read on her phone, but she's also buying all these different accessories. Buying a pop socket for a device that small makes absolutely no sense to me. It's just so much consumerism. Also, all for a device that is already too small to read on. It's too small to read off. You're gonna have to hold it like this close to your face in order to see the words. So yeah, KindleTok has me in an absolute chokehold. Not necessarily the MP3 player. I'm not influenced by that, but all the Kindle accessories, all the Kindle charms, all the stickers, all the aesthetic things that you can do with a Kindle. That's what I'm influenced by and what I'm trying to de-influence myself from, because I don't need all those things. I don't need all those things. These stickers are perfectly fine. I don't need to change my stickers all the time. I don't need the dust plugs. I don't need the Kindle charms. I don't need this stuff because guaranteed I'm not going to like it long-term anyway. And then I'll be buying something else to fit whatever vibe I want to go for. If you are into Kindles and books and reading, I really hope this video helped you just de-influence what you've been seeing online. And maybe we could just like relate to each other, de-influence each other from succumbing to these trends. Because when I see them, I am immediately going to their links. I am immediately trying to find what they have, even though there were some things in this video that I pointed out and talked about and maybe not understood as much, couldn't understand, maybe thought was crazy or excessive. The point of the matter being is that I am also just as influenced when I see something I like online. Seeing these videos also helped me realize how easy it is to overconsume in a category that is supposed to help you spend less. Before you go, leave a comment. I want to see what you guys would say to me or to someone else who may be a little bit more prone to being influenced by these trends. Let me know if you've also been influenced by these Kindle trends or any sort of trend in the BookTok space? And if so, were you more intentional with what you're purchasing or were you very impulsive like me? Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. God bless you all, and until next time.